Hi everybody. So this is our investigating osmosis lab, and this is just going to be the setup. I'm going to set this up and then I'll come back probably in the morning since it's late in the evening right now, and I will tape the results for those of you who can't do this at home. So as we discussed in the lab, make sure your lab has been shared with you on Google Docs so you can have that open or you can print it out, whatever's easier. So I've taken my vegetable and I have cut it like a potato chip, about a 1/4 inch. I don't want to go too thick. So you can see here that I can still bend it. So I've got that ability to bend. And what we talked about in our meeting today, I'm looking for turgidity. I'm looking for turgor pressure. I'm looking for, is it rigid? Is it feel crisp? These are fresh. They've just been cut, so they feel pretty crisp right now, kind of like a crisp apple. So you're looking for that, and I'm going to leave a couple of these out as my controls. And now what I'm going to do is look at the effect of, I'm going to soak one in water and I'm going to soak one in salt water, and I'm going to look at the effect of these two different solution concentrations. And I want you to think about, so here I'm putting one in the dish and I'm going to just add just tap water, nothing fancy, just enough to cover it. You can see it's floating a little bit. That's okay if it floats. Well, just as long as it's going to soak. So we're going to give this at least a half hour to soak. The longer the better, but a half hour will do well. The second one, I've got to just make my salt water. So I'm just going to take some salt. You can see I did not use a lot of water, so I'm actually going to get rid of some of this water so I don't have to make quite so much. Okay, so I don't need a lot. I'm just using little dishes. You can use coffee cups, glasses, jars, whatever you've got. I would not need this much salt if I had measured out less. The idea is I'm adding enough salt so that it's really salty. I don't need to measure it. Just want to make it as salty as I can. Basically until there's some that's not dissolving. So I'm going to take my second one and I'm going to put that one in, and I'm going to pour the salt water in that one. Okay, and now those are going to soak, and we're going to see what the effect of salt water. I might actually put a little extra salt in there just to make sure it's really salty. We want that as salty as we can. Okay, I'm not doing anything specific here. And now I'm just going to let those soak, and I'm going to come back afterwards and I'm going to look at the difference in their texture. And I want you to think about, as we're doing this, let's even this out. I'll do an equal amount of water on this side. One of the things I want you to think about is which solution has, what is the effect of salt? In other words, which solution has more water? Which solution has less water? Because some of its space is getting taken up by a solute. So some of the words we need to know here are solution, which is made up of two parts, the solute and the solvent. The salt here is the solute, and the water is the solvent as we make our solution. So this is a 0% salt solution. There's no salt in it. This is an unknown percent salt solution. The lab usually calls for 15%. So that would be like 15 grams out of every 100 grams of solution. Okay, we'll let that soak and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. See you in a little bit.